Hey allihopa, hi everyone and welcome to another video from Say It In Swedish. I'm your host Joachim, and after teaching Swedish online for 11 years now, 11 years, a few mistakes have stood out to be particularly common to me. So I thought, let's talk about those today because it's good if you as a beginner, basically you don't do these mistakes, because whatever you're gonna learn, you learn a habit. You make a habit out of different things, and those are very, very hard to break. So it's good to not make these mistakes from early on. So let's jump right into it and just the first one that basically the first mistake you are bound to make is saying "Jag är Joachim" when introducing yourself. Well, you're probably not gonna say Joachim because that's my name, but if you say your name and jag är Caitlin, jag är Andrea, jag är David, whatever, it will sound unidiomatic because we use the verb heta here. Jag heter Joachim. Jag heter Joachim. Because that means that the whole verb means to be named, or yeah, so it's more close to my name is something, right? We don't say jag är and a name. We just don't really do that. But it's very common for us to hear learners use it, and we are heavily influenced by English. So maybe it doesn't sound wrong to a native Swede immediately, because we are just so used to hearing English all the time and watching movies and so on. So it might not stand out as a mistake to a native Swede. So that's the tricky part. Having a friend that's a Swede and asking questions, they might not always correct you. But this is something that is super common. It's basically probably the first mistake you are gonna make. So think about that. Try not to say jag är and then a name, I am. Because that's your name, so you use heta. Jag heter Joachim. And now I just wanted to take a minute to thank the sponsor of today's video, NordVPN, because one of the most common mistakes that people make when learning a language is not to really immerse themselves into their target language, and you are probably making this mistake too. And with streaming being in its golden era, with radio and TV available online globally, there is really no excuse not to try and immerse yourself and consume that content. But some content might be geo-blocked, some countries block more than they should, or they spy more than they should. Then NordVPN is for you, with double the encryption and no data logging, and of course you can unlock content from all over the world, not only Sweden. So everyone should have a VPN, and I recommend NordVPN is the service I use. So head over to NordVPN with this link to get a nice discount and to help the channel out. Thank you so much, NordVPN, for sponsoring, and let's move on with the video. It's normal to translate directly something from your source language into Swedish, because you basically don't know. And that's fine. It's not very good, but it's how basically you would try to progress, because it's the only thing that you can use, right, to progress. You have no idea how we would express it in Swedish, so that's normal and fine. However, a few learners, they basically have a problem with understanding that this is not the case in Swedish, that we won't use these expressions even when told so. So if I tell you, okay, I understand what you're saying, but in Swedish we would rather say this sounds weird, or we won't say this, or even if it's grammatically correct, it's just not how a Swede would express it. Some people, they are having trouble understanding this or grasping this, so just trust me on this one, right? This is just how it is. Language is not always logical in that regard. we have German and Swedish, for instance, or let's take Norwegian and Swedish. Those are closer related, more closely related, but we don't say everything in the exact same way, and it's just has to do with frequency. These people started to say this, and it spread among those people. These people said this, and that spread there, and that's basically how these languages became dialects and eventually parted ways. So it's normal that expressions might not be the same, or it sounds all right, we understand what you're saying, but it's not how you commonly say it. So all you need to do is to understand that that's an aspect that is just has to do with frequency. It's nothing we can explain to you why this is, and just accept that we say this and not this. For instance, we don't say jag är Joakim. It just isn't, because we have this verb. So it's more common to use that verb. So that's why the other expression sounds weird. Another super common mistake is to use the so-called Latin word order when speaking Swedish, although that's like an English thing, and your native language might be another Germanic language that's not English. But you probably make this mistake anyway, because English was your second language. So in your head, every language that you learn will work like English, and that's the tendency. I think 99% of all Swedish, at least the beginners, they make this mistake. So try not to make this mistake at all. Right, if you want to learn more about this, I made a video about that. You can click here to watch that video. But basically, in short, it means that the verb has to come in second place, not as the second word, but in second place. Meaning you can't say, today I went to school. Today I went to school. In Swedish, that's not how you can say it. You have to put the verb in the bum and the ring-a-ding-ding-a-ding-dong. You know. So you say idag gick, today went, right? So check out my video on that if you want to learn more, but that's like one of the most common mistakes. Swedish is a curious but also funny language due to its pitch accent. But that doesn't mean that you can put it everywhere, and that goes for anything in life. Don't put it anywhere where it doesn't belong, right? So the pitch accent is used with certain words, not every word. So obviously you can't put this pitch accent on whatever word you want, just like my daughter. She's bilingual and she doesn't get it yet either, so she just puts this accent where it doesn't belong. And one thing to note is that we only use this with stressed words in a sentence and compound words, for instance, but not all words have this second accent, or whatever. You can watch my video on Swedish prosody and accents and stuff. If you click here, you should. It's good. But yeah, try to learn the accent before using it. So if you're not sure, maybe it's even safer to say not to use it at all. Swedish has 3 more letters than we have in the English alphabet. We have Å, Ä, and Ö. And you can watch my video on those 3 here if you want to know more about those. But the problem here is that Å and Ä are variations, or look like variations of A. So people confuse these. They think they can interchange them or just only use A. That's not the case. These letters are really their own letters in their own way with their own specific sounds. You can just swap them all out for A, or interchange them, or move them around. I've seen people learning more visually than audibly. So if there is an A and an A in a word, they swap them out, or like they change places because they don't know where to put them. But if you think about their pronunciation, there is really no question. So think about that. Try to think about the pronunciation of the word, right? So then there is no problem. We basically just decided that A plus an E, for instance, like in Danish, and then this E turned into 2 dots. We just decided that that's an A sound, right? A and not A. So that it's as simple as that. 2 different letters. You can just swap out V and W in English, although in Swedish we would pronounce both as V, or because they look similar, because one is just 2 of the other one. Yeah, you see what I mean here. You can do that in English, you can't do that in Swedish either. And the very last thing I wanted to mention, and it's a minor thing, very minor, but so common that I just have to mention it, and it's that people tend to conjugate the auxiliary verb and the verb coming after. That should be an infinitive verb, right? It should be in its infinitive form, the basic form, so to speak. You should only conjugate the auxiliary verb here, just like in English and in most other languages too. So we don't say he should goes, right? He should go. Go is the basic form here. It's not conjugated. Something you might not think about, but that's how it is. If we are talking about he, you can clearly see it's he goes, but he should go. The same is true for Swedish, right? So a lot of people seem to confuse this for some reason. So I just wanted to mention this. If you're doing this, think about this. It's not correct. It's weird. And to me, it's weird because I know that your source language, your native language, is probably working exactly like Swedish here. So that's an interesting thing. And it probably just is a sloppy work, really. I understand that. But try to think about this. It's something that you're probably doing. So, han borde gå. He should go. Han borde gå. Gå is the infinitive form. It's the basic form. Han går. Går is the present tense. Han borde gå. Gå is not conjugated here, but borde is. Alright, sweeties, that was everything that I had for you today. Hopefully you learned something today and you can apply this directly on your own Swedish, because you're probably making 1 or 2 of these, and it's something you can immediately correct so that it doesn't become a habit. You know, it's not part of your muscle memory and not something that comes from your stomach when you're speaking Swedish, because if you do something, a lot of times it just feels right, you know? If I would say that it's un banana instead of a banana, if I say it to myself often enough, will sound correct, although it's not. All right, so think about that. Do as you're told. Do as I tell you. Alright, if you want to learn more Swedish, you can go to sayinswedish.com, where I got more lessons for you. I got really good stuff on there, and if you want to support my project, you can do that on Patreon and unlock some extra assignments and stuff on the site. And if you want to talk to me and ask questions and talk to other fans and learners, you can do that on our Discord server. Links are all in the description down below, and we'll see each other next week. Okay, ha det bra, puss och kram, hej då!